Yep. So, yeah, let's get started then. Um, Hi everyone, welcome to the fifth session of Unnathi today. As you know, Unnathi is an initiative from the UVC Graduates Association to kind of make you all aware about the different avenues and opportunities in the higher education area. So we had a small break. Initially, we had done some 4 sessions back to back, and we took a break of almost, like say, I think 3 months now. So we had not done any sessions. So we are back now. We are starting this, like say, one more iteration of, or one more season, whatever you want to call, through this new event today. Today's the focus is higher education and IITs, and we have two guest speakers, uh, are all known alumni. I thank them and I welcome them to the session. Pavan, Pavan Joshi is my batchmate from 2009. He is currently SB2 at Microsoft and is working from Hyderabad. He has completed his M.Tech from CS at IIT Delhi. So, welcome, Pavan. And we also have Pallavi Kumari from 2019, um, where she from UVCE, where she completed BE, and then she did her M.Tech also from UVCE 2021 batch civil. He is currently PMRF and research scholar at IIT Roorkee. What I will do is, like that, when I ask her, it will be much more informative for her to give us explanation about what is PMRF. So that is why let us keep that as of now a mystery. So that if anyone of you would want to know more about, let's hear it from Pallavi itself. So thanks, Pallavi, for agreeing and joining us today for this session. I know it's Sunday afternoon, evening kind of an event. Still, like say, slowly people are joining in. As I told, I'll be allowing people whenever they join. So to begin the session, what we will do is our entire event is like framed in a similar manner. One is we'll have the introduction, we'll have some basic questions picked up from, like say, whatever the questions that are already there from the students, and then finally we'll open it up for any questions that you have. So what I'll do now is first, Pavan, would you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure, Satish. Thank you for such a rousing welcome. Good evening, folks, to all of you. Am I clearly audible, or is there some disturbance from my end?
No, no, it's audible.
Okay, thank you for confirming. So, yes, hi, folks. My name is Pavan Joshi, and like Satish already said, I am from his batch of UVCE 2005 to 2009, Information Science and Engineering. So after completing my B from UVC in 2009, I went on to do my M.Tech in Computer Science from IIT Delhi between 2012 and 2010 and 2012. And currently, I am working with Microsoft as SDE2, and I have an experience of software development for about 8 years now.
Yeah. Thanks, Pavan. Pallavi, would you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah. Um, am I audible? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Thank you, Satish, for introduction and inviting me for as a speaker in this Unnathi session. First of all, I would like to introduce myself as Satish already introduced me. I have completed my B.Tech from 2015 to 2019 batch, and then after finishing my BE, I joined M.Tech in the same college. My specialization was water resource engineering. Like my graduation was from civil engineering. Then I took water resources for my masters, and then currently I'm here in IIT Roorkee as a research scholar. I joined PhD course, and then I have been selected for a PMRF. PMRF is a Prime Minister Research Fellowship, which I have got after enrollment of the PhD course. So I will talk about this later when the session starts. Yes, thank you.
Sure, definitely. Thanks, Pallavi. But yeah, you can continue and maybe a little bit of the ground, whatever we wanted to set for everyone. So background a little bit and about the PMR a little bit more. Uh, that would help us to.
Yeah, yes. So I'll start from where I have started my graduation. Uh, People from the different background also, just not only the civil, mechanical or IT. Once you are finishing with our B.Tech, we'll have an option for masters, PhD, or the dual degree also, like masters as well as the PhD also. But I have joined as a master's that year just after finishing my master graduation. To do the masters also, we need a gate. We have to write a gate exam even for the state government university. Now, if you join through a gate, you will have a stipend of some amount. So it is better to write a gate and then join some university. Either it is a private university, state government, or some NITs or IITs. I prefer the gate. So once you have some score, at least you have cleared the gate exam. You join the master's course, and it is very student. I think student should be very much clear whether they have to um, go for the private sector or go for any like government jobs, or whether for a higher education. So once you are clear for a higher education, you have to think whether what kind of work you are to do, whether you want to go in industry like research based industry or some academic also. Because PhD opens up a lot of areas, not only the academic. You can go some research based, like scientist positions are there. You can work in industries like for the government part. If I say like ISRO is there, BART is there. So I suggest the student first they should have a clear goals. What you have to do, you have to be clarify. Now, if you have chosen once your masters, then we have a sufficient years of time where you have to focus on your study as well as your research project work. So, for example, in our UVCE, what we had a third semester of coursework, and then you have to focus on your mini and major project. So I just finished my coursework. It was a COVID period, 2019 and 21 batch. So somehow one semester was like online, and then as soon as we have started our project. So for myself, I say my interest was something different, and my supervisor interest was some little bit different area. So I preferred, like, I have taken a permission from him to collaborate with some research institute or some foreign collaborators. So one thing I feel best for UVC is the supervisors, the professors are very nice. They allow their students to explore the things from other institute also. This kind of facility we have, like we can collaborate our projects with some IITs, ISCs, NITs, triple ITs, or some foreign professors also. So likewise, I have done my major project in collaboration with UVC as well as triple IT Hyderabad. So this has given me a lot of exploration in the field of research ideas and research problems. So in that kind of those 2 years, I was clear what I have to do in future. I have just chosen one path in one specialization where I have to work on. So once I finished my project, parallelly I was keep trying for my PhD course. I have filled the many forms for IITs. Basically, I was trying for IITs and IICs in India itself. Uh, Mainly for PhD, a student need a GATE score. That is the very first criteria to get shortlist. And then you need a good your academic marks. Your BTech and M.Tech marks should have a good research proposal. all those things, what are the minimum requirement to get shortlist in IITs and ISCs were, it's like. Then later comes when you fill all those, like if you're shortlisted in some institute, you have to be clear the interview or written test depending upon the institute. Few institutes combined, like they take a written test as well as the interview. Few takes only interviews. All those things, they have the different shortlisting criteria or their different selection criteria. It varies from different IITs to different IITs or ISCs. So once you are enrolled in a PhDs for in any institute, IITs or NITs, you will have a chance to fill a form for PMRF. PMRF is Prime Minister Research Fellowship, where you are selected. It's like India is giving only for 1,000 or 2,000 students per year those stipends, or like the admission is under that fellowship, PMRF fellowship, where you will have a financial stability like your monthly stipend. Usually if the student is selected through GATE, they will have a monthly stipend of something 31. Now it is increased to 37K per month, but under PMRF the stipend is double. And also you will be having a good amount of research grant per year. And then coming to the research quality work, also it enhances the research quality and it will ensure you that a good quality work. And further, if you have some like if you want to explore postdoc in foreign as well as India, it will very helpful. It is like a tag, and it shows that your work is verified or it is checked from many professors, a peer reviewed kind of thing. So it is very good thing. Once you come in IITs, you should have apply for this and try to get selected in that. That much. That was my journey from B.Tech to up to here. And if anything else, Satish, I should tell how the student want to if they want to get in PhD or not, or something like that.
Yeah, we will talk about it. Maybe, like say, we will just switch once to Pavan and then again come back
Okay.
to you. Yeah, there are, as I told, a
Yeah,
few
sure.
questions from, like say, we have taken the generic questions from the students. There are a couple of something very specific to that. I will go with that also. But Pavan, would you want to kind of take up and share your background and other details to the students?
Uh, okay, like a detailed intro of sorts, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Uh, okay, I'll start from my native then. I don't know from where to start, so I'll start from my native. So I am a native of a place called Bijapur in northern part of Karnataka. I don't know how many of you have heard of it. And I did my schooling from Sainik School Bijapur. So that's where I completed till my 12th standard CBSE syllabus, and then a CET all through my UVCE, and then I was there in UVCE between 2005 and 2009, and I had given GATE at the during my last year, but sort of like I wanted to get into only IITs for my M.Tech, and I would not compromise on that. So for that reason, I decided to stay back for a year and then take a drop and then give a go at GATE once again. And when I gave GATE in 2010, I got a good rank, so that I was able to get a call from multiple IITs. So I got into IIT Delhi for my computer science. And in computer science, my sort of there was no specialization that IIT Delhi gave at that time. But based on the project and the professors that I worked with, I was mostly into computer architecture sort of projects and thesis. That's why I was working on trying to compute what is the amount of power that a system takes up when it runs an X program as compared to a Y program and stuff like that, plotting graphs and trying to come up with the most efficient way of running a program on the system. So I was working on those kinds of projects when I was doing my M.Tech. And then thereafter, I got placed in Oracle. I worked for a couple of years at Oracle. Uh, but then I wanted to try out my hand at UPSC, right? So I gave up my job. I quit my job literally, and I was jobless for about 4 years, where I was trying for UPSC. Things didn't work out. to 2018, I decided to join back IT industry, work in a couple of startups for about 3 to 4 years, and then finally I've been at Microsoft for about 2.5 years now. So that's compressed form. Anything specific you want me to address other than what I spoke about, Satish?
Maybe a little bit about the IIT, like say the process itself and your time there at IIT, maybe for a couple of more minutes.
Right. Okay. So process, of course, like already Pallavi covered for quite extensively. So you need GATE to get into IITs. And so I'm talking about 2010, right? So please take whatever I'm saying with a pinch of salt because things might have changed by now. Right? I'm not updated on that front, but I'm still sure GATE is still required to get into M.Tech from IITs. Uh, regarding, okay, let me start with go into a little detail about GATE examination. Uh, First, I have seen some sort of apprehension and anxiety among students about GATE, but I would say that as in given you study and you do well in your semesters, that is mostly what is asked in GATE exam, right? So if you are good enough to crack a placement interview and get yourselves placed in a good company when you're doing your engineering, I think with a little more effort, you are good enough to get a good rank in GATE as well and get yourselves a master degree. But yeah, this is for those people who want to pursue higher studies out of passion, right? So you really, so the point that I want to emphasize upon is, please do not think of higher studies as something that's mandatory for everyone, right? Some people are more academic oriented, and an M.Tech would really suit those people who have more academic inclinations, who want to write research papers, who want to publish in reputed journals, work with good professors and stuff. But I've seen a lot of my friends who are doing well in their career who did not necessarily go for higher studies, right? So because they were not highly academically inclined, but they were really passionate about developing good software. So it's really about your choice at the end of the day. So yeah, get a good measure of what you are interested in, what you're passionate about, what you want to follow, and only based on that take these decisions. Right. And now coming to my stint at IIT Delhi. So honestly, to tell you, for GATE exam preparation, about sort of second year, third year, putting in your best efforts in second year, third year of your engineering, should be adequate enough to get you a good rank in GATE. But things start to really open up in terms of opportunities, either academic or job opportunities, when you get into very good reputed colleges for your M.Tech, right? So you get a lot of reputed companies coming for placements there if you are looking for good placements. And at the same time, you have very good quality professors who are really passionate about their field, who are there by choice, not by chance, right? I'm not blaming anybody here, but when you get people who are really interested in what they are doing, you get a lot of opportunities, right? Because they are there because they love doing what they're doing. So when you work with such kind of a person, you also tend to get motivated, find more opportunities for yourself, and maybe go for a PhD. So in my M.Tech batch only, there were three people who opted to continue with PhD there itself, right? In the in the academy institute itself. So a lot of opportunities open up. Some people went ahead and opened startups. Some people went ahead and joined companies, right? The important learning for me there in IIT, the most important learning I would say was that the kind of crowd that you start gelling with, the kind of ideas that you start sharing over, let's say, in the mess having lunch sort of a conversation. So that sort of enriches your thinking, and you start thinking about new angle of doing things. So, and to a cherry on top is that you have very good professors, and the education was very practical oriented rather than you know uh, just the books oriented, right? That was new to me as compared to what we did in UVC. Right? So there was a chapter. There used to be a chapter on so and so multi-threading, concurrency, and stuff. And boom, there used to be an assignment on that, right? So you really had to learn it really well. The assignments were so tricky, not difficult, but tricky in the sense that they would make you learn those concepts really well, right? What is synchronization? What would be locking? What would be deadlock and stuff. You had to really learn that to execute the assignment. So that sort of reinforces your learning, and it really gets into your head at that point. What you start realizing what you're learning. So yeah, that's the biggest difference: the crowd, the professors, the quality of teaching, of course, infrastructure, labs, and other facilities. Right? Yeah, that's about it, and that is what got me into a good job at Oracle. It was a different matter that I changed gears and now shifted to UPSC later on, but that was my personal decision. Not everybody has done that, and people are doing pretty well. People from my batch are doing pretty well at their jobs. Some have become professors at IIT. Uh, Recently, an IIT opened up at Dharwad, and one of my batchmates who continued after M.Tech to pursue a PhD is now an assistant lecturer at IIT Dharwad. So yeah, you get your network grows, a lot of good things happen.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Pavan. So, Pallavi, maybe one first question would definitely be a lot of people have mentioned this, at least two or three people had specifically questioned the point that what would be the right time to start preparing for GATE? So, as you know, like say the students always have that mindset, just like exams, right? It's like, okay, 2 days before the exams, I'll start preparing. So, with that mindset, when you want to know, I think the major question is when should I start preparing for GATE?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, Pallavi,
Uh,
if you want to take, yeah.
yeah. Uh, During the 2019 and 20, we had only one chance to write a gate, only after our when we are in the final year. But now it has changed. We are able to write a gate exam from our third year itself. Means from sixth semester itself, a student can apply for the gate exam. But from my time it was not there. When we were in eighth semester we have written a gate. So as the pattern has changed, sixth semester student also eligible to write a gate exam, so I will suggest a student should start preparing from its fourth semester. It's not like for if you say when coming to a college, like from after their PUC 11th and 12th, when they come to a college, the life is changed, the pattern, their subjects, the college life entire is changed. So the students need some time to settle down, to understand what are the things are going on. So I feel the 1 year, like first and second semester, is enough for them to understand the procedure, like the college exams patterns, because it is totally different from your 10th and 12th standard. So 1 year is enough to find out the student whether they want to write the exams or not, or else they just want a placement. So if you are once set with the college procedures, like all the classes and all, you start thinking about the career in third semester. They should, I think, find what are the best ways to read for the gate syllabus, whether they want to take a material, like there are now online classes, online materials are there, or people can join the gate coaching itself direct available. So now the facilities are more, so in few times for like a couple of months they can take and they can make a decision. So I feel in the fourth semester itself, a student should, if they are planning to join a coaching, they should join from the fourth semester, so that they will have a 1 year of time. When they come to the sixth semester, they will have enough time and understanding and a grip on, also the practice also they can write in the sixth semester. Again they will have another chance in the eighth semester also. By that time they will have enough practice for that. So this is the best chance, like best time in the fourth semester to start. And this will also helpful for them in the college examination also, because up the college, when the day reaches up to the fifth semester, they will also like they already have taught in the gate coachings. So it will be beneficial for them not only in the gate examination but also in the college examination also. Like they will have a grip on the numerical part at least, and theory they can prepare by their own. So
Okay. So, like say maybe one or two small thoughts about, like say, for example, for civil students, if we are talking about their, like say for the gate, right, Pallavi, like say any specific topics or subjects that you say these are all like say very essential or foundational, what we call, right? If you could just like say touch upon
yeah.
that a little bit, that would be great.
Yeah, for civil students, the major portion is like geotechnical engineering and environmental engineering, for which the major questions, like number of questions, will be asked more. And the easiest part and one which is common to all the like background people is like general mathematics and general science. We will be having of I think 15 questions will be asked from your mathematics and general, so it is common and easily can be answered and easily scored. So other than that, geotechnical, environmental and transportations, these three subjects should every student should cover, should
Okay,
not be left. This subject should not be left in any condition.
okay, okay, sure, sure. Yeah. Okay, let me jump to Pavan then. Pavan, there's one very again. I think couple of people at least asked this question, saying
Hmm.
like, say, with that too with your like experience now, you will be able to give a better answer. For
Hmm.
people from CS background, which
Hmm.
is better? Let's assume M.Tech, like say at IIT or NIT kind of a thing that is within India, or MS in abroad. So at least like say two or three.
Yeah, I lost you there for a bit. Which one is better, M.Tech in India or MS abroad? Is the question, right? For
Yes,
CS
correct.
student.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I wouldn't say I'm very qualified to answer this because I never really tried for an MS in any of the universities abroad. But I would say both are equally good, right? I would not give a comparatively higher rating to either of those uh, because you have universities abroad that are very good when it comes to computer science. It could be, MIT, it could be UIUC Berkeley, and I think a couple of courses in Buffalo University as well, right? It really, when it comes to higher education, the yardstick of measuring institutes actually changes a little bit as compared to undergrad. And how it changes is that you start looking at what department is good in a college, right? When we are looking at college from an undergrad perspective, it's more of, hey, what is the CET first ranker going for? Where are the placements, right? Where are my friends going and stuff like that. Partly because we're still not mature enough to make a choice at that point. But later, when you go for higher studies, things, for example, what we used to discuss is that, hey, if you are interested in something related to computer vision, then IIT Bombay is the institute to go for. Right? If you are interested in something like something related to computer architecture, then IIT Madras has very, very good professors. Right? And if you are interested in, if you are more mathematically inclined and want to do a data structure and algorithms kind of a deep dive, then IIT Kanpur is the institute to go for. Right? So when it comes to higher studies, really know what you are interested in, which branch you want to get into, and based on that, look up universities or institutes in India that you would want to join.
Yeah. So, I mean, one other thing, maybe Pavan, you can just add on to maybe also the financial aspect of it. Okay? When people are considering to let's say higher studies in abroad and someone is considering it in India, what would you, I mean, let's say with your limited knowledge, as you mentioned, the abroad opportunities, then if you want to compare, if you want to just check it out, what would you suggest for the financial aspect of it?
Yeah, financial aspect of it, you are really, as in much better off relatively when you join institutes in India through GATE, right? Because you get MHR. We used to get MHRD scholarship of about 8,000 per month when
Mhm.
we were doing our M.Tech. And it would not only cover the tuition fees, but it would literally cover all our expenses in our M.Tech, right? It used to cover hostel fees, it used to cover tuition fees, it used to cover food, it used to cover most of the things. And we ended up saving money out of that. I think the stipend had gone up to 12,000 or 15,000 of late,
Hmm.
and the fees also have gone up. I think I don't have latest on that, but you are more or less, it won't burn a hole in your pocket if you're looking at an M.Tech from an institute like an IIT through Gate. But from what I know, I'm not sure if I should comment on this, but yeah, MS from abroad really needs, even after you get scholarships. I've heard about. Please don't take my word on this. Independently verify what I'm saying. So I've heard about people having to spend 8 to anywhere between 5 to 10 lakhs a year.
Yeah,
That was about a decade ago.
yeah,
Now things would have changed a lot. So yeah, please independently verify this. So financially speaking, it would really make sense for somebody to go for an M.Tech within India.
yeah, yeah. No, no. Like say yes, definitely. Even like say the first session that we did in Unnathi was like say the MS opportunities basically in US.
Hmm.
So we have that up in YouTube to anyone who has not yet checked it out. And if you want to just hear it out from our own alumni again, feel free to go and check it out in the YouTube. What Pavan said now, even they had mentioned about it, saying it is like say individual's choice, whatever like say the financial burden that it will create, or whatever the additional aspect that you need to consider, they had mentioned about it even during that like say session. So please do check it out. Maybe that will also give you a comparative understanding what we are talking today and what we are talking like say what we were talking like say 4 5 months before. So
Right.
yeah.
And additionally, I've seen my friends go and do PhDs abroad also after M.Tech in IITs, right? So
Yeah.
M.Tech in IITs doesn't mean that you are sealing your fate as far as studying abroad is concerned. You still have opportunities, and recommendation letters from some of the professors at IITs do carry a lot of weightage when you want to get into PhDs abroad. Right? So you are not really closing all the doors. You are, let's say, just postponing the decision from MS to a PhD.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So, Pallavi, what I would want to like say further ask you would be, yes, of course, about the financial aspect. As Pavan said, whatever he can talk about is from like say a decade back. Maybe you can give a little bit more idea on that. That is definitely one thing. But again, like say when we talk about like say for civil students who are there now, like say apart from M.Tech, they because you are currently pursuing your postdoctorate thing, right? So they would want to also hear about say what kind of preparation is required, mind, or what kind of mindset is required when they want to move to the next stage also, because that is one aspect many of them will be thinking when they are even planning to do M.Tech. So if anything specific you would want to add, feel.
Yeah. One thing is, I totally agree with Pavan sir. What he says, the higher education is not by choice. If you want, it is not compulsory that one student should go for a master's or for a PhD. Even for a civil student, also, they should not think we do not have any opportunity. We have taken a civil. It's not like that. If you really want to pursue, or if you have a really interest in some specialization, then only you should take your masters, because masters is not just like a coursework. If you will be having a projects, you will be having a research projects. If you do a good in research projects, then only you can go, you can like take a good place for your PhD or postdoc, something like that. So, for example, after finishing a BTech, you just don't want to go in a higher studies. You can plan for a PSUs after, like by achieving a good rank in GATE. Like if you scored a much higher score in rank in a GATE, you can have a public sector PSUs like IOCL and all. This is one thing. Other than is you can prepare for some other exams related to your engineering subjects, like UPSC Engineering Services exam, ESC. uh, other than also people, I have seen my friends to preparing some other sectors like banking, um, like not related to the engineering also they can prepare. But it's not like you, if you do not want to read and go for higher education you should have take a masters. No, like there are other opportunities. If you are in engineering, you sufficiently, if you will be having a number of opportunities, you can go in any sector. Just you need to prepare for that. And you should not leave, like once you are taking some, for example, you thought of banking, 1 year you have prepared, you did not qualify, you should not leave that. And again, you should not jump into a new field. You keep writing and keep practicing until like you are satisfied. But yes, if you are determined for your higher education, then go for sure for your masters. And again, after completing in masters also, it is not necessary for doing a PhD. You can take a placement after your M.Tech also from any colleges, not only from your NITs or IITs. Even for UVC also you can go for placement. It is not like colleges, for example, the chances are very less when you are doing M.Tech. Placement chances, especially in UVC for civil, if I say, after your M.Tech, the for placement, the companies is very less, very few. But you can try from outside. You can approach to the company, you can send your resume, you can contact directly, or even you can contact through your supervisors also. So joining in industries, you will have a chance after your M.Tech also. uh,
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, so just a continuation of this question, I think that will be valid. Maybe both of you can weigh in. Once, let's say, maybe Pallavi, you can go first. Is definitely the career opportunities part that you already mentioned a little bit about. But if specifically, maybe, like say, from your PhD perspective, one is that definitely that I would want you to share a little bit more, because anyone whom you know, right? Like say, it is not about UVCE as such, the students, but anyone in general, they'll always be worried about their career and what is the future part of it, uh, whether it is really worth, what kind of opportunities will be there. So everyone be focused on that at the end of the day. So maybe if you can just give a little bit more about that, then we jump to Pavan to ask him to share his views on that.
Okay. So what I understood is you want to ask me to what the career after PhD, right?
Correct. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, career after PhD, it will open a lot of area. People thinks normally that once you finish your PhD or after that postdoc, you will having only academic like assistant professor and all in some good institute. But no, it's not like that. Once you finish your PhD, you can choose the industry also, like R&D, research and development based industries also there. Even not only that, you can join any sector based upon your specialization. You can join some company also, even for private company also you can join. Since you will be having a degree of a PhD, you might have some, maybe there will be some increment, your position will be different, you might be working on some related to research oriented work will be there. And the student who come directly after the BTech, their defined work will be something different, and your defined work will be something different once you complete your PhD. And obviously your positions will be higher once you get into the company after your PhD. So career after PhD are, there are two what I can see. One is academic and one is your industry, industry level. So based upon the interest, you are eligible to apply for both. And also you can take some experience after your PhD as a postdoc in India as well as foreign. Like for example, some 6 months or 1 year.
Understood.
That will also be a good like, additional experience.
Understood. Understood. Sure. Yeah. Pavan, the same question to you also, but maybe I know again the same thing you mentioned about it is like say 10 years back, but even then when like say here from UG, right? So they would want to know, like say in M.Tech, how or what is the like placement related thing that happens, and what was your experience when you were there?
Right. Okay, so let me tell you my experience at UVC also. Let me start with there,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
sure.
So, for as far as placements are concerned, UVC is good, right? I would say one of the best in Karnataka. I would not like there are of course better institutes, but you will not find a lot of institutes that are better than UVC when it comes to placement, right? So yeah, like looking at it from a placement perspective or getting into a good company with a good salary kind of a perspective, I would say M.Tech is not M.Tech or higher studies for that matter is not a mandatory thing, right? So it's not that only if I do an M.Tech from a good institute will I land up in a good company, or only if I do a PhD I'll land up in a good company, right? So you have opportunities at BE level also. Thankfully, because we are in an institute like UVC, which I believe, Satish, I believe the placements are still as good as they used to be,
Yes, yes,
right?
yes, yes, definitely yes.
Yeah. So yeah, looking at it like very narrowly from a placement perspective, I would say consider your options. Sit down and think if you have gotten into a good company, I think you might already be in the career of your choice. Right? Having said that, how things will differ when you move to, a good institute. Definitely. Because of the fact that those institutes are valued and a lot of companies that do not visit UVC for the roles, for the beginner roles, for the fresher roles, do visit IITs, right? I don't, for example, let's say when I was there, Intel was not visiting UVC for placements, right? But uh, after my M.Tech, I found that Intel visits, AMD visits, NVIDIA visits, a lot of companies visit uh, IITs for their placements, right? But at the same time, I was placed in a similar semiconductor company called Freescale, which was good, right? It was not bad, but some people do have specific aims like I want to get into this company and work on this. If they do have specific aims, then definitely yes, higher studies and a good institute will add a lot of weightage to your resume. Coming to placement experience, like I said, it was a lot more practical and project oriented when it comes to M.Tech, right? So it kinds of it kind of starts becoming a project oriented right? It lays a foundation for you. And then in higher studies, you start building on top of that. So you start getting into specializations. Like, for example, reiterating the same point that I talked about a couple of minutes ago.
Mhm.
So in BTech, we always talk about computer science, right? As you go to higher studies, you start talking about computer architecture as a different field, computer vision as a different field, data structures and algorithms as a different field, databases as a different field, right? So they start becoming fields of their own and you start specializing into stuff. So if you are really good at, identifying what is your area of interest within a field, like let's say computer science, if somebody right off the bat is interested in sitting and coding and developing applications, right? You can do that in a company as well, and that will give you more practical exposure, right? But if you realize I'm more interested in things like, let's say, compiler design, writing a compiler, more research side of it, right? How were these algorithms developed in the first place? What is more efficient? What is less efficient? More academically oriented, academically inclined questions, then higher studies and PhD may be for you, right? Uh, I'm trying to emphasize on the point that it really should be your choice because I have seen some people do the mistake of taking it up as the last resort or because there was no other choice, right? Please do not do that, right? Please take up higher studies only based on your interest and only if you are interested in pursuing, your academic inclinations or even exploring the subjects further, deepening your knowledge, strengthening your knowledge in those areas, right? That is very, very important because okay, I'll tell you an instance of why I repeatedly say this, right? So we had a professor called, you know, Professor S.N. Maheshwari. So when we're doing in our M.Tech computer science. So we are all, fresh off the block, thinking that, hey, we have gotten a good rank in GATE, we are very good institute, we are very good students, classy students from all over the country, right? But when we wrote our first internals in the advanced data structures, it was called as, he comes into the class and then he literally says this. He's like, all of your papers stink, right? And the maximum marks a student got out of 50 ever in our course was 16, 1 6, right? 1 6 was like maximum anybody could get. And he or she was like the top student, and they went on to do a project with him. So imagine, right? Things change, the scale of things change, the expectations change. And some people may not think of higher studies from that perspective, right? So it's really an interest oriented thing. So I would urge you all to take a look at if you're interested in doing higher studies, right? If you're looking at only and only job opportunities, B.Tech also can give you a lot of them, right? Uh, but can it give same opportunities? No. Can it give similar opportunities? Definitely yes, right? So yeah, uh, what more to add? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah,
No, I
Sadish, I'll just keep talking about things in general like this. You will have to stop me
no,
and
no.
ask specific questions, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure,
Yeah.
no problem. So what I have put it up in the chat as of now is, guys, like say we are opening it up, opening the forum for any specific questions any one of you wants to ask, or if there is anything, let's say a concern or a query that you would want to put forward, so that the speakers can speak about it. Definitely be happy. So feel free to put in any question. Okay. So meanwhile, yeah, until let's say any further question comes up, Pallavi, one question for you would be, now currently, like say you had done both your UG and PG at UVCE, and now when you like say see it and IIT, I know there will be a huge gap or a huge difference, agreed. But there will be one definite question which many of the students will always be wondering is it too difficult for us? Can we cope up there? Kind of a thing. Because at least that is one difference that I'm seeing from past 7 8 years. Okay? The students lack a lot of confidence. Maybe there are exceptions. I'm not saying no, but still there is a huge group of people who I see that are, am I really that capable? So I would want you to kind of give your perspective on that.
Yeah, I think you are asking about spending a time BTech and masters in the UVC, like college,
Yeah,
state government college. When you come to the IITs, what are the gaps you feel and how you covered it, like that.
yeah,
So it depends on the person to person. When you are in the UG, you not I suggest not to stuck only with the books. You should explore some other activities also which are going in your colleges. It builds up your ability to speak, to come on the stage, to crack your interviews. Ultimately, you need your communication skills when you either sit in your interviews or any whether for a PhD interview or any job interviews. So you should not have a stage fear or some public fear. That type of deal when it comes when you explore the other things other than only your books. You read, give the time for study, and give also the time for some extracurricular activities which will build your like personality development, we say a generalized term. It will build your like skills, how to give the answers to those questions when it is asked in the interview. Now if you are doing your masters, so in
Hey, Pallavi,
masters we will
sorry.
be having a
Uh,
seminar in every semester. Yeah.
yeah, I totally agree with her and second her on this point. I just wanted to say that. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Pallavi.
Yeah, no, please continue.
I don't
Hello.
know. No, no,
No,
you
no,
can
sorry, go ahead.
take
I just wanted to say that that's very
Uh,
important. And yeah, students should take note of what she's saying right now. That's all. Go ahead. Sorry, Pallavi.
yeah. uh, it's fine. So when we come into the masters, the entire your syllabus is built up like that. The student should come on a stage, they should give a seminar, the presentation. You particular, I'm talking about the UVC. The UVC civil water resources systems were like that. In every semester we have to give a seminar in front of all our faculty members. So that builds the confidence like we can give. And the professors also your suggest, they will see your presentation, they will correct you, and you have to work on that. You should not only just listen and leave it. You should note down everything how they are saying. You have to talk them. So just not to stuck only with your study, you should explore the other thing also, because whether you are sitting in your PhD interview or any job interview, finally you will be looked your communication skills, your way how you are going to answer those questions. Maybe you will be knowing all those answers, but you are hesitating, or you are not able to answer those questions in a like framed manner. So these all things you will learn by exploring, outside the book or outside the library. If I say, you just read the books, reading capacity will may increase your vocabulary or English capacity or something. Talk to the people. Just no, not like stuck with only two or three people's, because when we go higher or higher education, our group of friends will be very shorter. Like if you might have observed in our B.Tech, we will be having a lot of people in our group, and then you come to the masters and PhD, people's like group is very short. So in that way, what a student should do, you should choose some other activities also other from your study. You join some sports, you go and like random people, go talk some like other. You should explore, not stuck with your only one thing you have chosen. So that will build your personality, and you will be able to face all those things. You will not be feared in that situation. So I will suggest to that student, explore everything other from your books, so that will be helpful for your interview.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. So I just again asking in the group, anyone has any questions?
Meanwhile,
Uh,
let me just add on to the point that Pallavi was making from my perspective as well, the sort of industry perspective, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so, guys, please feel free to interrupt me at any point and ask questions because I tend to go on right once I start. So, communication skills, right, is a very important skill no matter where you are, right? No matter if you are defending your PhD thesis, right? If you are trying to convince someone that you have a good idea, right? Especially in a corporate like setting when there are thousands of people competing and thousands of ideas competing with each other, the ability to convince your team, convince your group, convince your manager that the idea that you are thinking about or proposing is really a good one and will make a lot of difference to the service or the product that you're implementing
Mhm.
is becomes very important at a later stage, right? Because this is from my experience. I've learned that people having really good ideas, I've seen them struggle to communicate those ideas or sort of propose it to the team and then have it implemented. And at the same time, I've seen the other side of the spectrum also where people are really, really good at communicating and convincing, right? So later, may not be in initial stages of your career, but later points in your career, there comes a point at which soft skills start taking over your technical skills, right? And communication. So it's sort of a graph. Two are competing for each other. As you are in junior roles, technical skills matter a lot, right? But as you start growing into your senior roles, it's not just you who has to be convinced of the idea or of the implementation plan or anything, right? It's the entire group. It's a group of people that has to believe in that idea, right? So from that standpoint, communication skills start becoming very important because I've worked with multiple managers in my journey, and I've seen managers who are really, able to motivate the entire team using their vision when the idea was, just okayish. right? And at the same time, I've seen managers who are not able to communicate the idea, even though the idea was solid,
Hmm.
right? And the team was not motivated enough. So
Yeah.
it becomes very important. So please, guys, keep this thing in mind. And like she said, uh, go use your chances to communicate, right? Build your knowledge, talk to people, talk to people from different branches. Keep exchanging ideas on what they are studying, what they are reading about,
Yeah.
right? So that never hurts to
Yeah.
collect as much as knowledge as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Adrian had a question.
Yeah, I'd just like to add to the question you had asked earlier. I mean, this is a question just out of curiosity. Once you join an IIT, obviously we are coming from UVC or maybe another tier two, tier three college. So does the opportunities you get once you become a student of an IIT, does it become a level playing field, or say students who have done their UG from say a tier one institution get better opportunities once you join?
Uh,
Um,
you want to take that, Pallavi? You want me to answer that?
no, we'll ask, let's say, both of
Yeah,
you.
I
Maybe
can.
Pavan, you can go first. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I can add. So basically, what I feel is there is no difference. If you have a good, communicating skill, you just quickly you can make a lot of friends here in that sense. And yes, knowledge fields, if you say basics, if you are strong, then there is no difference. What makes difference is the IIT student, if they read one page, means one other than one page, if you say the one page from top to bottom, like they know, they will leave the entire page, but if you are giving the one page to read them, they learn everything about what means what they have. If they hold means they know that. Only thing is difference. In UVC, what we were doing is we were telling that we read the entire book, but actual what we were doing is we were just reading for exam purpose. But here, what I have seen, if you are reading one page or two page, means completely two page is our. From these two page, whatever anyone asks, means we are finished. We are completely known with the concepts. So if your concepts are built up, your basics are okay, you having a good skills, you are talking like there should not be any hesitation kind of thing. All the students are equal. If even if you are coming from any kind of college or IIT, the students here also, if you see in the B.Tech, the students come from your, they have done their 11th and 12th from some government schools or something like that. So I don't feel any difference in that.
Okay. Okay. There is one more question. Uh, is it possible to pursue higher education after working for some time, let's say a couple of years in the industry? So, let's say, would you recommend that? Is the question. So, maybe Pallavi, you can go first, and then I'll ask you, Pavan.
Yeah, I have seen here one of my like friends. They have done their BTech some 10 years ago, and they joined M.Tech as a sponsored candidate. So we had actually coursework together. So the one thing they were facing is their writing skill. Like it's been a 10 years. They didn't have the practice to write a theoretical. So this is only one thing they were lacking. But after practicing of one semester, they just come up. So there were no issue. You can join your master's or PhD after even your 10 years also. Only thing is to get in the academic as an assistant professor in some IITs or NITs, you will be having some age limit. Right now it is 35 years for joining as an assistant professor in IITs. So this thing you should be checked out.
Okay. Okay. Pavan, is there anything else you would want to add?
Nothing. It doesn't matter as much as we might think it
Yeah.
matters, right?
Okay.
So, because like she said, we also had sponsored candidates from Indian Army pursuing their M.Tech in computer
Right.
science at the age of 35, 40,
Yeah.
right? And people who had worked for several years in the industry and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But if you can, I would advise you to do it right now,
Mm-hmm.
because if you anyways have it at the back of your mind, right? If you want to go to the industry, explore for some years and see if you really need it, then please take your time, go ahead, explore. figure out, and then if you really feel you need it, you can come back anytime.
Understood. Understood. So this is one last question that we would want to take up. I know it's already six now. So Pavan, maybe like say you can first go about this question. Is it possible for an EC graduate student to pursue M.Tech in computer science?
Yeah. At least the outdated knowledge 2010 kind of a knowledge that I have did not place any emphasis on what you should have pursued in your engineering, right? So if you can crack gate in computer science stream, and if some institutes have interviews on top of those, right? So if you can perform in the interview and then get uh, a good rank in gate, then why not? I don't think there's any stopping.
Okay, okay, sure. So maybe just before we wrap up, I'll ask, like say, both of you for like say one, maybe maximum of 2 minutes to kind of share your thoughts, so that we can like say conclude the session. So Pallavi, you want to go first, maybe?
Yeah. Um, my is like I'm enjoying my research because it was completely my decision when I was in my final year of B.Tech. That time only I was like interested in exploring the literatures and all, but I just found my interest in which specialization I have to take. So I joined in my masters, and then I got like more interest and then more digging in that topic. So that has given me a lot of interest further. Now also I will be having a plan, somewhat I can do, but also I can say to the student, always should have a, not stick only with the one plan. You should have a plan A and as well as plan B, either in any field, whether you are only in a master's or a PhD. So the PhD journey will be good when you have taken this completely with your own decision. There are many opportunities within the PhD. Just like I have seen, I got a PMRF. Like that, there are many. You will be like attending a conferences in foreign. You will be some short of few months of courses in foreign also, and in some other IITs or ICs also. Likewise, there are many opportunities within the PhD. So
Yes.
no problem. If you wish, you can take it.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
that's
Thanks.
fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Pavan.
Yeah, closing thoughts, right?
Yes.
Okay. So closing thoughts. Please go back home, assess yourselves, think of if you're really interested, right? Or take time, go to industry, work for a couple of years, take time to see if you're really interested in going for higher studies, and go for it only if you're interested, right? Point number one. Second thing, a sort of a yardstick you can use for this, which I learned in hindsight. I wish I had it earlier with me, is that there are sort of two kinds of students that I have seen, at least in my journey. One is, there's one set who likes to dig in, right, deep into subjects, like take one particular problem and keep digging in into that problem till they find out a solution, right? It's more of a depth kind of a question for them. So they will pick one topic or one subject and get really deep into it. And the other kind of student is likes breadth, right? He does not like staying or knowing too much about one problem. It's more of knowing a lot of lot of subjects or topics or problems in adequate depth for them, right? So the first kind of people is who are the ones that are more academically inclined. Sort of an M.Tech or a PhD requires that kind of a mindset, wherein you have one problem statement and you keep digging, digging, and digging all your way through till you find the solution to that one problem, right? You will learn plenty things along the way, but your focus will remain that one particular problem till you are done with it, right? But not everybody is suited to that kind of a pursuit. So if you are not, then it probably is saying that you are not academically inclined. So an M.Tech may be good for you, good enough for you, may not be a PhD, right? So assess what you would like yourself to be doing 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the line. And if your mind says, no, I'm not made for like sitting from morning to evening on one problem and chipping away a little bit day by day at it and seeing the results only after 3 to 4 years. If you have that kind of a patience, then PhD is for you, right? If you are more of, no, I cannot do that, I have to start implementing, I'm more of an implementation guy, I like to see things in action as quickly as possible, you are more of an implementation developer, architect, builder kind of a guy, right? I would recommend such guys to go for industry, and there are a lot of amazing things that you can do in companies as well. So go back, assess yourself, think about what you want to do, which is the pursuit that interests you, and take a call based on that, please.
Understood. Understood. Yeah. Thanks. So, like say, before I am like say, I thank both of you and etc. There is one or two small points that I would like to say. That
Yeah.
is, uh, like say, there are a couple of more questions that came in, but they're very specific ones or so. So, what we will do is we will share your LinkedIn profiles to all the people who are registered. So, if there is anything that they would want to reach out to you, or if they want to ask something specific, they can always reach out and talk to you. So that in that way, at least they can get connected and know a little bit more. That is one part of it. Uh, then the second point is, of course, on LinkedIn, again, there are 20 plus people here. So I'll at least, let's say, mention to all of you, saying that a new UVC page has been created, a LinkedIn page. My request is please update your educational details with connecting to that. It has taken a lot of time for us to get that page up and running. Uh, as and when more and more alumni update their educational details with that page, it will help us to connect and build the alumni community. So that is one other thing. Now, again, coming back to the Unnathi as such, this is like say fifth action, and we will you can you just go in this session to some of their.
We are losing you, Satish. I don't know if others are feeling it, but
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
we're losing your
Hello?
Yeah,
voice.
you're
Yeah.
not. I'm not able to say.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What I was just saying was, like, sir, is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, what I'm just saying is, like, say, session also will be uploaded into YouTube. You can ask any of your friends to check it out. In that way, if they had missed, like, say, attending today's session, maybe it will help them to, like, say, clear off some of their queries or concerns or anything. So with that, I would like to wrap up. Pavan and Pallavi, thanks for joining today and sharing your experience. That, like say, that is one way of like say giving back is what we always say, because many of the students who don't know how to approach or whom to approach, this is the way that like say even they will be benefited, and like say you like say sharing your experience will always improve their chances of taking taking forward their like say the choices and etc. So thanks to both of you for joining today. I know it's Sunday evening and etc. But even then, you both of you joined and shared your experiences. Thank you. Thanks
Thank you,
everyone.
Satish. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Yeah,
Satish.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Good
yeah.
session.